Hey guys, getting ready to do a quick lesson on long division. This is the algorithm that the adults in the group learned how to divide by, okay? Um, I used to tell my parents that I was the teacher they're going to love because I get to teach them the stuff that they grew up on. So we are going to do long division with the steps. Make sure you're ready to screenshot a page of notes at the end. All right, let's go. Okay, let's get going, and hopefully I won't although this will stay like it's supposed to. So long division, when I'm teaching my kids how to do long division, I like memory tricks. So I teach them this little memory trick right here, DMSBR, and I help them remember it by saying, does McDonald's sell burgers raw? And that just helps them remember the order that they're doing the long division in. So for the D, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat as often as needed. So this helps them just kind of, again, remember that order that they are going to be doing the steps in. So let's look. We are going to write our problem, 3,680 divided by 16. And we are going to start by dividing. So we're going to look, does 16 go into 3? No. So some people will put a 0 here as a placeholder. I usually just tell my kids to just go on to the next number. Does 16 go into 36? Yes, it does. 2 times. So I'm going to make sure that I'm putting my 2 over the 6 because I am actually looking at 36 divided by 16 at that point. Nothing else, okay? So we have divided. Now we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply that 2 times 16, which is 32. I'm going to subtract. 36 minus 32 is 4. And then I'm going to bring down that next digit. So I'm going to bring down that 8 and become 48. At this point, we are repeating. We're just starting, but this time it's almost like we're doing 48 divided by 16 instead of this big number here. So 48 divided by 16, or 16 will go into 48 3 times. And sometimes students have to do some extra math problems to kind of guess and check with this, and that is perfectly okay. 3, we're going to multiply 3 times 16 is 48. We're going to subtract. Now, this is where a lot of students get messed up also because they think because they have a 0 here that they are done. But we have a whole nother digit up here. So we have to make sure that we go until the end of the number and we make sure we are using all the values. So we subtracted. We're going to bring down that 0 and we're going to repeat. We're going to divide. 16 or 0 divided by 16 is 0. 0 times 16 is 0, subtract, and then we don't have to bring down because there's not any more numbers. If we had stopped right here, we would be saying that 16 will go into 3,680 only 23 times, which that would be way off. So I always tell my students, make sure you've used all the numbers. Also, I tell them to see what makes sense. So 16 is kind of close to, we'll say 20 if we were to round up. 3,680 is kind of close to 4,000 if we were to round up, okay? Or 3,600. Think, how many times does 20 go into, we'll even say 3,600 divided by 20. And think about that. So if we even take away the zeros and look at 360 divided by 2, it's still going to be a 3-digit number. So if we had stopped at 23, that wouldn't make sense, okay? So anyway, after we have finished our problem, I always tell my students to check. So we've talked about in other videos how division is the opposite of multiplication. So if we are checking a division problem, we can check that by multiplying, and we're going to multiply our quotient by our divisor. And we're just going to multiply. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18. I'm going to take that 8 and carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus that 1 will be 13. I'm going to have to put that 0 there as the placeholder because, again, we're technically multiplying 10 by this number. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times 2 is 2. I'm sorry for my messy handwriting. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the picture as much. And then I'm going to just add 3,680. And because this number matches this number, that means my answer is correct because I got the same starter number back. Okay, so go ahead, take a screenshot of that, and then we will come back together in a second. So hopefully that helped with long division. Some of the things I talked about, I had actually already talked about in a previous video. So go back and watch those with the multiplication and multiplication being opposite of division and all that. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything specific that you want to see me do a video on, please let me know. And I cannot wait to get some feedback from you guys. Thanks.